What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the Water Juice channel, and welcome, finally. It's been a couple days since they've announced it, but finally we are here at the official Madden NFL 22 franchise deep dive video kind of release trailer thing for what's going to happen in franchise. Yesterday we did a preview of the things that we thought were going to be in the video, and then after that video was recorded, I went and I did some research about the video that we're doing today. It was released yesterday when I recorded that other video. So today we are taking a look at it. We're going to break it down. It's about 5 minutes long, so I don't know how long the video is going to be. It's going to be at least probably 10 minutes or something, maybe a little bit more depending on how much I talk. But we are going to get straight into it. Make sure to smash that like button, notification bell, and the subscription button as well. Join the Juice Club. And let's get straight into it. Let me put the headphones in so that we can get straight into franchise mode. This has got to be good. It's got to be good. All right, let's play. I'm not going to pause it the first go-around.
Hey everyone, Connor Dugan here, Senior Design Director on Madden NFL 22. Super excited to be here with you today to share some of the awesome work our teams are doing, specifically on franchise and Madden 22. Get ready, because we're about to go deep. Some new franchise features that we'll talk about today include franchise staff and new staff points, the importance of weekly strategy and the integration of dynamic game day on next-gen consoles, an enhanced season engine, franchise hub updates, tuning, and more. With new franchise staff, you're in control of everything from the front office to the field. Franchise staff is meant to empower you to build, grow, and customize your coaching staff using a new RPG talent tree system, so you can build a team that fits your play style. There will be more than 60 different talents to choose from at launch, with more to be added via our Madden 22 franchise live service plan. Plus, the #1 most requested improvement by our players to franchise is scouting. We're targeting September for the release of scouting through a live service update. Madden 22's revamped scouting feature will allow you to manage and assign your scouting staff with all new national and regional scouts. We'll have a whole new and much more in-depth system for uncovering details about your prospects, and just like real life, players will move up and down the draft board all season long. We'll have more to share on scouting later in the summer. Your franchise staff is made up of 4 positions: head coach, an offensive and a defensive coordinator, and a player personnel department. Now, I bet you're wondering about those new staff points we mentioned at the top. Staff points can be earned weekly by setting goals, playing your games, and completing objectives. Then, you can use staff points to upgrade your staff through coach talents. Easy, right? Next up, weekly strategy and dynamic game day integration. Each week in the NFL presents a new challenge for players, coaches, teams, and fans. Weekly strategy in Madden 22 is designed to mimic the dynamic environment while offering you the chance to confront and overcome various challenges in different ways. In essence, weekly strategy is really the core of your franchise experience. Who you play, where you play, and when you play all matter more than ever. Through next-gen stats and the dynamic game day integration, you'll be able to study your opponent's strengths and weaknesses with detailed statistical and play calling info. Manage your team's fatigue levels throughout the season by controlling practice intensity and reps between game days. Plus, you can assess your first half performance, make adjustments at halftime, and come out of the locker room better prepared for the second half. Because when game day happens, you can never be too ready. Here are some additional details on what you can expect to see in weekly strategy. NFL players, coaches, and GMs encounter a roller coaster of scenarios every day, every week, all season long. And the enhanced season engine in Madden 22 was built to emulate these true-to-life ups and downs of the NFL. Madden 22 will launch with over 35 scenarios and will add more as part of our continued franchise live service commitment. One example is the perfect chemistry scenario. During the season, an elite quarterback can trigger a tiered breakout for a young receiver. As the weeks go on, the challenges get tougher, but the rewards increase, giving you the chance to take a middling wide receiver and turn them into one of the league's rising stars. Scenarios like this will allow you to experience more fun and engaging choices, goals, and challenges that lead to meaningful rewards in-game. This expansive catalog of narrative-driven NFL content will start at launch and continue throughout the year, featuring new choices and challenges that are unique to each story, with an impact on both your on-field gameplay as well as your off-field decision-making. We've also completely revamped the Franchise Hub to make the most important information about your franchise more accessible to you. Some of the updates you will see on the new Franchise Hub include an activities list that displays what you need to do each week, your goals for the week so you know what you need to accomplish to earn rewards, an updated news screen that keeps you informed of the top stories and reactions from around the league, faster access to roster management screens like signing free agents, adjusting your depth chart, or trading for players, a league tab that surfaces more data to your league versus hunting for information in your stat screens, and a member screen for your online franchise that is easily accessible. Thanks for spending your time with us to learn more about what's new in franchise in Madden NFL 22. Stay tuned for EA Sports Madden NFL 22 channels for more information on the game ahead of the worldwide launch on August 20th, 2021.
All right, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There we have it. We have the entire franchise video right in front of us. I've got some thoughts. There was some good stuff. Let's go through and break it down. So we started out with the opening from, not the opening, but some of the same scenes that we saw in the actual release trailer, teaser trailer. And then we move into franchise stuff right here. We get some, hopefully, new Super Bowl celebrations. I told you guys in a video previously that I heard rumors that the Super Bowl celebration was completely different, and this looks promising right here. This looks promising.
To go deep. Some new franchise features that we'll talk about.
That looks pretty promising that they updated the Super Bowl. So we've got here, let's take a look at this. If I could get it back to where we need to be. There we go.
And more.
So franchise features in Madden NFL 22 at launch. Now they keep hounding this notion in that they're going to do a bunch of live updates to franchise mode. Now, if they really are effective, like if the updates actually are meaningful, then I'm all for them. But if they're just going to be like updating little tiny things, then just make one update and you don't have to do 3 of them. So as long as they are meaningful and they actually change things and they actually add things in, then do a lot of them. So basically, in the game at launch, you'll have new franchise staff and staff points, which we'll talk about, new weekly strategy and dynamic game day integration. But like we mentioned in the video yesterday, dynamic game day is only for the new gen consoles. It is not for PS4 or Xbox One or PC even. PC will not get the dynamic game day features. So only next gen. I don't know if they're going to update that for PC later down the life cycle of Madden 22. But as of launch and as of probably for most majority of the game's life cycle, dynamic game day will only be for next-gen consoles. So we've got the enhanced season engine, we've got the franchise hub updates, and we've got tuning and more. So speaking of tuning and more, I have heard that the gameplay, the actual in-game gameplay when you're on the field, feels exactly the same as next-gen Madden 21. And I know a lot of people don't like that because Madden 21 next-gen felt clunky, it felt slow. In my opinion, that's how it felt too. It just feels a lot different. I know it's supposed to be more realistic and more based on next-gen stats and stuff, so that takes into account, but the gameplay in Madden 21 Next Gen, I kind of stayed away from it. That's why I did all those series, and I'm currently doing all those series on PC Madden because the gameplay feels more like PS4. So I don't know how I feel. Actually, I do know how I feel. I don't like the gameplay in Madden 21 Next Gen, and so I'm a little bit worried that the gameplay in Madden 22 I'm not going to like because it just doesn't feel right. and maybe I'll get used to it, and maybe 5 years down the road I'll be like, oh, this is the best gameplay ever. I don't know. And I don't know if they're going to change it. Maybe that was just for the beta. I heard people that have played the beta, they said that it feels almost exactly like you're playing Madden 21. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Maybe they'll change it as time goes on, and as the game is out, they'll update it. Maybe that's one of their live updates. I don't know. But I'm a little bit worried about that. So moving on to actual franchise staff stuff, we get a huge picture here, which is what we've got previously with the Bears coaching staff. It does say work in progress down here, so it's not completely official that this is what it's going to look like. But we have staff points up here. We have our head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and we have our player personnel. We've talked about this in depth in previous videos about what I think is going to happen here. If we move a little bit forward, we have a new screen here where it says hire staff. So I don't know if this is in the off season. I don't know if this is during the season. You can rehire your guys to new contracts. You can re-sign them to new contracts, or what. I don't know. But it says one thing I did notice down here was a hiring bonus. You get 79 franchise staff points for hiring Matt Nagy. So I'm assuming that, like what I said in yesterday's video when we broke this stuff down, NCAA 14 had a system in the coaching where if your offense coordinator or your defense coordinator left for a new job and you brought somebody else in, then the points that you had put into your previous coordinator would come back to you, and you could put those points into your new coordinator. So it looks like this is the same principle. It looks like this hiring bonus, you get 79 points plus the points that you already have up here. You get 79 extra points that I'm assuming you put into your old head coach that are brought back to put into your new head coach, which in this case would be Matt Nagy. So that is a huge bonus, a huge plus for this game and this feature, because I was a little bit worried that you would just lose all your points. Now, one thing that I did notice is this says Mike Pennell Jr., but that's Matt Nagy's coach. So, or that's Matt Nagy's picture. So it really is a work in progress. I hope they keep that in just as a little like joke or something. Or all right, here we go. Now I don't know. I was thinking about doing another video about breaking down certain things specifically. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I might do it. I'm still debating whether or not to do it because I don't know if I'm going to do it in this video. So going through staff moves, it looks like the exact thing that NCAA has, where at the end of the offseason or at the end of the coaching carousel, you can go in and click a button and go through the entire league and see all the entire league's head coaches, all of their offense coordinators, all of their defense coordinators, and all their player personnel. And you can kind of see who moved where and stuff. So this is interesting because it has some real-life players' names. Like it has Julian Edelman, it has Jason McCourty, or one of the McCourty brothers. Well, actually, it's Jason McCourty because Devin is the other McCourty brother. Joe Tooney, Antoine Bethea, Terrell Suggs, Dante Hightower, and it says their age is like Joe Tooney's 67, so Jason McCourty's 56, Edelman's 51. Like it gives them head coaching spots, and it says that Edelman was hired as the Vikings head coach. So I don't know if this is going to be like an NBA 2K thing where certain players, when they retire, like become coaches. Like in 2K, you can have Tim Duncan be a head coach. Well, when he was in the game, you can have LeBron James, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, all kinds of players after they retire become head coaches in that they enter the coaching pool in 2K. So I don't know if this is the same thing, because this is obviously down the line, because Julian Edelman is not 51 years old. But Shaq Mason is also 32 in this. So I don't know really what this is even. I may have to do a little bit more research into what this all means with the ages and with all this hiring and firing stuff. And it says Joe Tooney retired as the Bears head coach at 67. I don't know what this is. So maybe I'll do another video on this like specific screen just to break it down more. And then we've got the talent tree, which we talked about extensively in the past. We can go past that. We don't really need to talk about that. We didn't really talk about the player personnel stuff, though, which you can upgrade your trading, which I'm assuming means that this says Mentors Wanted is the top one, which is trade discount on older players. So all these give you little bonuses to help you out day to day and stuff. So that's pretty big. I like that. It's like your typical RPG tree. So we've got a picture of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got Brady, Levante David, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh. So I don't know who's back there. I can't tell. That's a 3, I think. I can't tell who that is, actually. Is this a Ndamukong? I think this is Ndamukong. I don't know who that is. I was just throwing that out there. We've got Sean Payton with Mike Thomas in the background. He made an appearance. John Gruden's there as well. There's Brady running out on the field again. Now we've got scouting. Okay, so scouting, they have mentioned that scouting is going to be the exact same thing that it was in Madden 21 and Madden 20 and Madden 19 and all that stuff. It's going to be the exact same for the first month of launch. And then sometime in September, when they do their first live update, is when they're going to bring out this version of scouting, which they go more in depth on. So that's big. So, but just be worried, or just be a little bit cautious when you go into Madden 22 on launch day or in the first month of August. Just don't go in expecting that scouting is going to be different, because it's not. It's going to be the exact same until September when they launch this. So just for the first month, you got to get through it. It sucks, I know, but they're adding it in September. I don't know why they couldn't have it in the first. I don't know why they couldn't have it at launch. Maybe they needed an update, and this is their update. They needed something to update because they already said they were going to have live updates, so they just brought this out. I don't know, but I feel like it should have been in there at launch. Maybe it wasn't. But this looks a lot like scouting for FIFA, because you can go into different regions of the country. You've got the West region, you've got the Central region, I'm assuming is what this... No, this is probably the Central region. This is the Northeast, and this is the Southeast. And then the National is everything. And I don't know if you have to use staff points to scout. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe they go into it a little bit later. But you got top prospects for the West, it looks like, is Devin Kelly, a quarterback. He's projected number 1. Now, I don't know if that's his ranking overall nationally, because they're not on the national tab. This might just be his ranking in his specific region. I don't know. Also, you have a scout, Ted Davis. He's a tier 1 scout. He's looking for quarterbacks and outside linebackers. He's a 5% efficiency boost when scouting a position, so he must be expertise in quarterbacks and linebackers, outside linebackers. So that's pretty cool. We'll just have to wait on September for that. And then we go into this, which is scout hiring. And then once again, we get actual players. We get all these same players that were, except for Donald Penn and Chuck Pagano. We get actual players that were on that head coaching screen. Now it can be scouts too? I'm not really sure, because it says that Julian Edelman has been an experience. I don't know if this is his playing career or what. No, it can't be, because Terrell Suggs didn't play 7 years in the league. He played a lot more than that. And Dante Hightower didn't play 2 years in the league. So this must be their scouting experience. But why does Donald Penn have 16 years of scouting experience and Edelman has 8? And I'm going to have to do more research on these specific screenshots, because they're very confusing to me, at least. I don't understand them. So maybe this will be a video in itself talking about those. Moving on to this one. This feels a lot like NCAA with different region breakdowns. Also a lot like FIFA. This definitely feels a lot like FIFA. You get different scouting stuff and you have expertise. This guy, Bill Smith, is a national scout. He's got expertise in that. So, plus he's 12 years experience. So maybe the more experience that they have, the more efficiency boost you get. I don't know, but I'm sure they're going to cost more. And I don't know if there's actual money in this, like in FIFA, or if there is just staff points or XP. I don't know. They didn't really talk about that. And then we get to this, which is interesting. This is your draft prospects, like your draft board, I guess. And it says that Tony Swift out of Alabama is the number one prospect on the board. But it also said that they move up and down throughout the year, like it fluctuates throughout the year. So I don't know if like there's a fictional college season where they perform, and if they do good, then they move up a little bit. If they do bad, I don't know if this takes into account like awards. Like, will it tell me if one of these guys won the Heisman, or if one of these guys was an All-American? I don't know. Maybe it won't go that in depth, but it would be nice to know if you're drafting the Heisman winner. So maybe it'll tell us that. Probably not, but that is pretty cool that it'll fluctuate and it'll evolve throughout the season. That's a nice addition. And then it says that you can go in more in depth. Are you sure you want to focus on following players to complete private workouts? Sorry. So you've got 6 guys that you pick to perform private workouts. I'm assuming to get more in-depth scouting reports on these specific guys. So you can either choose yes or no. It feels a lot like this kind of color scheme feels a lot like NHL. And I know they just released NHL 21 last year that had this kind of color scheme, so that's kind of what it's reminding me of. And this is mock drafts. It says up there mock draft. I didn't see that. So this is the Bengals have the number 1 pick. They're projected to take Tony Swift, a quarterback. I don't know why, because they have Joe Burrow. That is a bad screenshot. I don't know why they would have Joe Burrow, or why they would have Tony Swift, a quarterback, projected to go to the Bengals. That's a little bit concerning. This one makes sense because Big Ben's old. This one makes sense because the Patriots always take guys like that. I don't know why they would be number 4. Maybe they're not doing good in the simulation. I don't know. But this one doesn't make sense at all. I don't know why they would project. That's a little bit worrying, actually, that the logic is not fixed, because the Bengals would not need a quarterback unless Joe Burrow, they traded him. I don't know why they would, but unless they traded him, they would not need a quarterback for the next, 10 years or something. So this is not accurate. I don't know why. This is a little bit worrying that they have that. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. Maybe it's just one simulation. I don't know. But I'm a little bit concerned about that. And then we're talking about the moving stuff. And then we got franchise staff positions. Head coach, develop players and staff with head coach talents for a new spin on team building. You got coordinators, use staff points to upgrade talents that focus on improving situational performance and ratings boost. Customize your staff by hiring or replacing coordinators with coaches who get the job done. So once again, it doesn't go into depth on when you can do that, if you can do that during the season or if it's just an off-season thing. I don't know. And then player personnel, build an elite roster through free agency trades and the NFL draft by using staff points to make upgrades in the player personnel talent tree. So you're definitely going to have to focus a lot on player personnel, because I'm assuming that player personnel will make it easier. Having a higher upgraded player personnel coach will make it easier to draft, to scout, to do all that kind of stuff, to sign free agents. So you're definitely going to have to put a lot of focus into the player personnel. And then we get weekly goals. So if you win by more than 14 points, you get 5 staff points if you get 2 touchdowns in the first pass. So it's basically, it's your standard goals, weekly goals system that you get. You can actually, I'm assuming that if you win by 7 points, you get 5, and then if you win by 14, you get 10, because the total is 10 here. So it looks like if you only get half the goal, you still get 5 points, but if you get the whole goal, then you get the extra 5 points, you get 10. So that's pretty cool. And then moving on to the skill tree again, it looks like it costs 10 points to get the secret remedy thing. Weekly strategies, we could go into a whole nother video on this as well. I'm probably, now that I think about it, I'm probably going to do 2 extra videos, one on the weekly strategies thing, and then one on the scouting stuff maybe, or those staff pictures that I was confused about earlier. I may do a video on that. This video is already super long already, so we'll just quickly go through this stuff. Looks like you get to be more involved in your game plan and stuff using the next gen stats. You get to, it's basically like you're playing fantasy football on Madden, is how I'm perceiving it so far. Now, maybe that'll change when I actually get my hands on the game and we can go over it and stuff and look more in depth at it. But from these screenshots, it feels like you're playing fantasy football especially with these next-gen stats. It feels like they've combined Madden and they've combined fantasy football and they've just mashed them into one, and that's what it feels like to me, at least. So you can go more in depth with different specific players. You can check their injury history, or not their injury history, but their health. It looks like Tyreek Hill is a little bit more tired than Patrick Mahomes is, which is understandable because Mahomes is a quarterback. Tyreek Hill is a very speedy wide receiver. So you can choose to game plan against a specific player because of their health and their fatigue, which is very interesting. I like that. Then we get more gameplay shots. J.K. Dobbins getting tackled by T.J. Watts. Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting brought down by, I don't know who that was. I didn't see his name. Then you can choose your game plan of how you want to attack against Ronald Jones II. So you can choose to defend the inside run, which would be more specific to Ronald Jones. You could go to contain the QB scramble, which you wouldn't have to because you're playing Tampa Bay. You would probably go for more of the medium to short passes for Tom Brady. And then Lamar Jackson, obviously, you would go to contain QB scramble. So it looks like these are the only options that you get. And depending on what team you play, you can just choose from this select few options to choose your game plan. So if you're playing the Ravens, you obviously want to go to contain the QB scramble. But if you're playing, I don't know, if you're playing the Chiefs, you'd want to defend the deep pass. If you're playing the Patriots, you'd want to defend the short pass in the run game. I don't know. So, but it does look like that these are the only options that you get. So you just have to choose each week, depending on what team you're playing. And then you get to make halftime adjustments. So I guess they're trying to make the halftime more useful, because most people just skip straight to the next half. But if they give you halftime adjustments and you're getting like blown out or you're losing by 7 or something, you can't stop the run game, you can't stop the pass game. I would assume this would be more useful in online modes, but maybe there's people out there that in franchise that want to go as in depth as this. I don't know. I probably won't. I hope there's an option to skip it, but I don't know. Maybe I won't skip it. Maybe I'll actually like it. I don't know. And then the managed player health thing, we've already seen a screen like that. This is your training recap, so everybody's getting boosted. You split the reps between Mahomes, Matt Moore, and Chad Henne. So that is another interesting thing, that you can not only split the reps, but you can choose to sit Patrick Mahomes in training and give all your reps to your backups, so that if you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes who doesn't necessarily need to practice all the time because he's such a high overall, that you can start to, if you have a young quarterback, like if you're the Packers and you have Jordan Love on the bench, you can give all the training to Jordan Love, all the first team reps, so that maybe his overall and his attributes start to grow, so that when Aaron Rodgers is done, you have already a quarterback that's a high overall waiting in the wings. That's actually a really cool thing. So, and it looks like that Mecole Hardman is knee cartilage tear, so that's not good. We got more halftime adjustments that you can make. And then you got Baker Mayfield throwing to Odell Beckham Jr. Jesse Bates tackles him. Weekly strategies, dynamic game day integration. Choose a game plan focus. Focus will identify the top threat on the opposing team. So if you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, it's probably Tyreek Hill. Focus will utilize next-gen stats and a list of pros and cons about how each carries over into gameplay, and select a new weekly team goal that will reward additional staff points. So they're just giving you more options, more things to do each week, which is very good. It's a nice addition. New season engine. This feels, I've mentioned this before, this feels a ton like FIFA. When you go into a match in FIFA, you get a pregame press conference and a postgame press conference. Well, do you get a post? I don't know if you get a post-game. I haven't played FIFA in a while. I don't remember. But I don't know if you'll get a post-game press conference in this, but it looks like you get pre-game press conferences where if you answer certain ways, it gives morale boost to players. Maybe it gives a little bit of an attributes boost for one game for a certain player. Like if you talk up Tom Brady, maybe he gets like a +2 throw power or something for that specific game. I don't know. Maybe that'll happen. I don't know. So, but this feels exactly like FIFA, so there's nothing new there. This is interesting, though. I was a little bit confused about this. So it looks like you get little cutscenes, probably like before games or something, where your head coach will come in and talk to you about or talk to your quarterback about building chemistry with a certain player, either a wide receiver or a running back or something, which is weird. It might get annoying after a while. I don't know if it's a good thing. We'll have to wait and see. I can't really... this feels a lot like franchise mode, or like Face the Franchise, though, just as like real players. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll have to wait and see when we actually get our hands on the game. And then we got more gameplay here, another thing of Andy Reid, more press conference stuff, new franchise hub. They, like I said previously, they've completely revamped the franchise hub. Absolutely, completely remodeled it. You have now, in my opinion, from this screenshot, it looks better. Now, I don't know how efficient it's going to be or how easy of use it will be. I'll have to figure that out when I actually get the game. So from here, it looks like you have view the playoff picture, player meetings, players ready to negotiate for new contracts, scouting players, strategies, upgrading players, managing the staff, managing the roster, returning from injury, play season game, and advance the week. So from here, you can basically do all the stuff that it took like 3 or 4 different screens in Madden 21 to do. It's all right here. Then you have your schedule up here. You have your actual like main stuff, like the standing screens finally in with all this other stuff, top stats for opposing players. You got your goals right here, news, league options. So this screen looks definitely a lot better. I'm hoping that it looks like they have all the same generic Twitter stuff that's going to be in the game, that's always been in the game. These 4 people have been in the game forever. I don't know why. And it looks like they're just going to be tweeting random stuff. So that's all right, I guess. You got top stories. You've got showcase your favorite screenshots. So that's pretty cool. You can go, once you click on manage roster. So I'm assuming, not all, but I'm assuming some of these have different sections when you click on them. Like manage roster has all these different options that you go in once you click on manage roster, but maybe scouting players doesn't, maybe signing free agents doesn't. I don't really know. This says it's in free agency week 1 or free agency period 1. So you can go into your roster, you can re-sign players, you can see the injury report, the trade center, all that good stuff just from the manage roster screen. And then the schedule, you got stats and awards. You can take a look at the X factors throughout the league transactions, league history. You can see the top performers, which is interesting. This is another reason why I said you're playing fantasy football, because they've added the feature, which probably should have been in the game a long time ago, but you can see how people are doing around the league. Like Cam Newton has 3,700 yards and 26 touchdowns. Justin Fields is in there too, so you can kind of get a feel for how the league is going and how certain players are performing throughout the season, which is a nice little immersion thing that probably should have been in there, like I said, a long time ago, but it's good that it's in now, I guess. It's good that it's in now. And this, for online leagues, is really good. You can see who is in your league at what team. It's all nice and clean and nice and ready to go here. It seems like it's just a better way to see who's in your league instead of having that member screen on Madden 21 where it's just a big list of everybody. You have to scroll down and see who's in the league and what team they are. So this feels a lot better. You can easily click on this one screen that brings up everybody, and it looks like it's just a lot better. It's just a lot better, a lot cleaner. I like that. It's a nice addition. I don't really play a lot of online Madden, but it's good that they have that in there. And then you get a little bit more gameplay, and the trailer ends. So that is the breakdown of this trailer. In my opinion, these are good steps. This is a good starting point. I've said this before. This is a good jumping off point for Madden 21. They have started to actually pay attention to franchise mode. They've actually started to make improvements. Now, I'm not saying that this is by any means the best version of franchise that it could ever be. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm saying that they need to use all the good features, and we'll give them feedback throughout the year on what sucks, what's really good, what we like, what we don't like, all that stuff. And they'll hopefully take that into account like they have in the first place, making franchise mode a more of a big deal. And hopefully next year and the year after and the year after, they keep adding little things, or maybe big things, depending on what we need, to the franchise mode that makes it a real good game, that makes it the best version of what it could be. So hopefully that is what happens. This looks like a good starting point. And like I said earlier, I may do separate videos on staff and on scouting and then on weekly strategies and all that stuff. So keep a lookout for those videos. I don't know if they're going to happen or not. I probably will do it, but I'm not 100% sure. So just keep a lookout on the channel for those in the coming days. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys have any opinions on Madden 22 franchise mode, let me know down below. If you guys like these new additions, if you guys hate these new additions, please let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think. What's your opinion on Madden 22 franchise mode? My opinion is that it's a W. At least from this trailer, it's a W. Now, when we get in the game, when we actually get the game on the 17th, is it going to be a W? I don't know. But as right now, it's an absolute W. They've done some good stuff. There are a few things that they probably could have adjusted, like we've talked about in this video. So maybe they'll take into account later. I don't know. But it's an absolute W for me right now. When the game comes out, that could change. But right now, it's a W. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and the subscription button as well. Join the Juice Club. And that's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.